Good morning, colleagues. Once again, my name is Mzukisi. Surname is Matandabuzo. I am working as a research team manager, ARC Animal Production, Chew and Chew. We are currently in the sensory evaluation laboratory. We have got 4 labs. The 3 of them are ASANAS accredited. This one is still in the process of getting accreditation. We are doing here sensory evaluation, where we are focusing on analyzing sensory analysis of fresh and processed products from in a perspective of food security. Well, that's all, but I will invite Dr. Karen, who is a researcher here, to take us through what exactly they are doing in terms of research and development. Then I will come and close in terms of what are the future perspective in terms of research and development in our labs.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Sensory Lab here at IRC Irene AP. Here we work on the consumer product. We have machines all around the campus that work on the objective quality of the product, but it's the consumer who knows what's in the product, what they sense, what they experience in terms of spicing, in terms of even aftertaste. Here we have people who come in who are trained, they look at the product and they test them. We are also open to the industry in that samples can be changed in terms of ingredients, formulations, not just the meat products alone. We also look at them and we evaluate them. In this lab where we have 15 booths, and the 15 booths we put in the samples and the panel sits behind, and then they test the product and they give us the results. These results are important because what we grow, what we farm, only makes sense if the consumers enjoy it and like it. When we do our analysis, for instance, a client comes with a product, right? They've changed their recipe, or they are changing the ingredients. There's a supplier who has a certain ingredient that we are all familiar with, and sometimes it's in terms of pricing. What the judges here do now is to first evaluate what's inside the product. So for instance, they'll pick up a variety of samples, and then we try and compare what is in that product with what the other person has made. In terms of tenderness, they will also taste it and rate it using their human senses. And then on my right here, there's a texture analyzer machine that actually cuts the meat objectively and also measures. So we compare what the panel is getting with what the instrument is also getting. But the instrument cannot tell us juiciness, cannot tell us about the sensations of flavor. It's only the human senses that can do it. For instance, if we feed our animals certain feed, right? Some animals will have the meat that has an aftertaste or an extra aroma. Some animals are actually preferred because of the diet they get from a certain location. And we can actually quality control that by just sensing and tasting the meat. So hence we have some of these reference samples here. And if we take it further, we have dairy products that come from different breeds of animals as well. These animals, we make the same products, but the cheddar from one area can be different from the cheddar from another area, irrespective of them being processed in the same plant. And it is the human senses that can do that. So that makes this sensory lab one of the most important and critical part of the whole research unit to complement all the wonderful research that is happening in the other departments. Some products, right, we want to just test the aroma. We're not worried about the appearance of the product. So for us to do that, we have to mimic or manipulate the light. If you walk into our sensory booth there's red light. It tarnishes the image of the product's appearance so that the consumer only uses their sense of smell to get the aroma of the product, to describe the product. We can do it with also beverages. One can taste grape, but when you look at the color, it will be red and you associate it with other fruits. So in so doing, we try to make sure that we take out the noise and that the panelists only concentrate on the parameter that is of objective at that point. So when our samples are prepared, they are prepared in an enclosed room where the panel does not see. So all the preparation that happens here is done with the doors closed, and then the panelist just receives their sample on a tray. They're not supposed to talk to their panel member. That's why they are confined in a booth. And then when they receive their sample, they put their answers on a form, and then we take their form and we evaluate the data using our trained biometricians here at the ARC. Our panelists come from the public media, We sent out advertisements for people who have a taste for food, who appreciate the culinary language of food, but most importantly, people who have the access to the lab, who are committed to coming for all our sessions. Hence, some of the people who are here are former employees of the ARC who have been dedicated to examining the products that we work on. Some of them have over 30 years experience, and they can smell sour. Who can smell sour? But they can smell the taste of sour products without even tasting them. So these panelists are loyal and they are trained. What we mean by training, over and over, we have trained them such that they separate the emotion out and they can just objectively tell us this is sweet, sour, or tasty, bitter. And they can also tell you if there's a difference or not in terms of levels of intensity of any attribute that we will be working on.
Well, the sensory evaluation focuses mainly on food security, food safety. We need to get safety of what we are eating. So therefore, we need an analysis before you talk about meat tenderness, talk about meat quality. As for now, we are working on the project where we want to get new approaches in terms of improving the tenderness, the hardness, and the quality of goat meat. That's a project we are focusing on, and we are also working with the ARC in terms of getting a machine, which is a universal texture analyzer, that will focus more on analyzing and getting more quality on the product of the meat and also on other household products.
Some rough terrain coming up. Engage 4x4.
Roger that. Engaged.
Mission complete, Dad.
The all-new Toyota Fortuner. Reimagine the luxury of freedom.